Welcome back. The rain ran me in, and it's dark now, but I said, let me come back out. This is my new spot. So look for these every day, weather permitting. I wanted to speak about how social media has changed over the last 25 years that I've been on it. I don't even know if they called it social media back then. When I first got on it in February of 2001, to me, it really was more social, even though they didn't coin that term. And those who expressed themselves did so in a genuine manner. The ego aspect of it didn't kick in until years later, when the powers that be that actually planned it to be something degraded, something addictive. Well, in the beginning, it was wide open and a lot clear from these battles and these arguments and this alternative or alternate rather, and alternative way of living and projecting. And it seems as though many who are out here in these social media streets work hard on the illusion of themselves as opposed to working on themselves internally. So now, with so many people trying to outdo each other, trying to impress each other, trying to show the world that they have it all together, but yet their inside is becoming more and more rotten. This is not everybody. There are some who hold it together and utilize its platforms in a way that's healthy. But more and more, it's dragging many into a pit, a bottomless pit of despair, hopelessness, and emptiness. Because what many are projecting, it doesn't really matter in the long run. Because algorithms change, people die, content is removed, and what do you have from it at the end of the day? Just a false flex for those who do it that way. You have others who see that when you have peace in your life and you can surf these waves in a way where you don't get pulled in, here they come now, trying to disturb your peace. Well, social media, in actuality, will bring a lot of negativity into your life if you don't know how to use it. We're too impulsive. We're too shallow. Our armor is too thin because we get into our feelings so much. And now what you see on these addictive platforms is an illusion that many of us begin to compare our lives with others. We compare ourselves to lives that are projected that are not, for the most part, real. So now we're competing with something that, for the most part, doesn't exist. What a waste of time. Why don't we work on ourselves internally and express the elevation to help others elevate also? Why can't we collectively bring ourselves into a healing type of mindset where we share soothing words of victory and a path on how to make ourselves better so that we can live with ourselves better and we don't have to work on anything false because the reality is so sweet? But see, that's too hard. Many of us find it easier to project, and I've seen so many project the false narrative that they want others to believe is their life. And they work hard on it, trust me. They work very hard on it. And it's sad. But coming on to these various platforms now is like showing up to the picnic or showing up to the backyard cookout 15 minutes before it's about to end. And you're hungry and you're looking for a plate of food. But the food, for the most part, is all gone, eaten up. And the containers that were covered, because there's very little food, is left open. And you want to eat, but you see the flies that are landing on the food. You really can't eat that now. You should have came on time. But that's what it feels like, because I can compare, because of my time surfing these cyberspace waves. Now they're shark-infested waters. And the bottom line, from what I see, as long as it can be monetized for the corporate entities that own these platforms, they don't mind the chaos. They don't mind the hypocrisy. They don't mind the degraded content. Sure, you can't say certain things now. You can't speak truth about people who have turned into the people that did them wrong decades ago. Isn't that something? These people who will say, never forget, must have forgotten, because they have become like the monster that tried to exterminate them. But if you say that publicly and name names, and to defend those who are the victims now, history is repeating itself, but the tables are turned. And those who were the victims and gained sympathy the world over, for the most part, are now utilizing many countries and their resources for their own takeover of the world. So it's a tool of indoctrination. You can't speak freely, even if you keep it decent. And those of us who shine bright now have to go underground and speak in a coded manner. That on top of the distractions of the entities who project false narratives, from regular civilians all the way up to major news companies and platforms, whether it be broadcast or something cyber-based. What is reality? We have to go to alternative means now, underground, speak directly to people. We can't believe what is put out in front of us, because just like we have the people who are trying to live a false narrative, we have powers that be, countries, leaders, that are putting out a false narrative, and many of us are too foolish to research ourselves, explore ourselves, and talk to the people who live all over the world directly. But we're too distracted to do that. So what we see broadcast in front of us, we take it as gospel and run with it, and make foolish arguments based on what somebody fed into your mind, and you absorbed it. You absorb the poison and you spit it back, not knowing what the truth is. So this is why, unless I know about something, I'm not going to talk about it until I know what the truth is through my own research. Anyway, go to LANCESCURVX.com, sign up, and let's continue the conversation. Much love. Peace.